Hello, this is Janet Michael. In addition to hosting the Valley Today each weekday at noon on the River 95.3, I also produce podcasts. And I'm excited to kick off Season 2 of our podcast series in partnership with Rappahannock Electric Cooperative. It's called We Are REC. Every week we'll release a new episode talking to different people from REC about a host of different topics. We'll get tips for saving money on your electric bill. We'll talk about renewable energy and the impact it can have in our communities. We'll get some behind-the-scenes info about what happens when the power goes out in a storm. Don't miss out on information about community grants, scholarships, REC-hosted events, and more. Get every single episode on our website at theriver953.com under the podcast tab, or you can subscribe for free in Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or on Spotify. Just do a quick search for We Are REC. Hello and welcome to the Valley Today. I am your host, Janet Michael. It is Tourism Tuesday as you are listening to the show today. However, we are pre-recording it on a beautiful Monday afternoon. I am sharing a Zoom screen today with Nathan Garrison. He is the president of the Shenandoah Valley Travel Association. Along with him is a name you may recognize. She's done the show with me several times before. Helen Morton is with him. She is the vice president of Class A, and I'm sure Helen's going to explain that to me in a few minutes. But before we get to that, I want to thank you both for taking some time out of a beautiful Monday to record today's show for me. I appreciate your time.
Well, thank you for having us.
So, Nathan, I'm going to start with you. For someone who may not know what the Shenandoah Valley Travel Association is, kind of explain to me about the organization.
Sure. The association is centered around the fact of getting people to the Valley and having them understand what they can do here in the Valley once they're here. So it's a travel association that's membership based. So there's different types of members. We have attractions, national parks, breweries, hotels, Airbnbs, bread and breakfasts, those types of things. And we all work together to be able to promote the Valley. And we do that through several different ways. We have networking opportunities for members. We have a website, a very nice website for people to go to, travelers in particular, to be able to plan their stays and their travels through the Valley. So our main mission is just to get people to the doorsteps of our membership.
I'm a brand spanking new member of the board of directors for Shenandoah Valley Travel Association. And I know from our last meeting, my first meeting, Helen, you were talking about a brand new website. Nathan just touched on it a bit. Is it live now? Is it about to be live?
It should be live next month, and it's the Visit Shenandoah one. We're redoing that one first. A lot of extra bells and whistles, great visuals. It's going to be a very dynamic, engaging site, and of course, with all our members and even up and down the Valley, we were looking for images, so we can have video. And a lot of other extras that we have for our members, but also for our tourists when they're checking in to see what is available down through the Valley.
And Nathan, I think this is an important role that your organization plays, because individually, a lot of these businesses and these attractions wouldn't really be able to afford to target the types of audiences and the wide range of audiences that you guys can do when you bring everybody together as one.
Absolutely. I mean, we try to have very reasonable membership rates for those in the industry to be able to join. And then we focus and try to market those members as best as we can to be able to get the best bang for their buck. And we are very cognizant of that and pay attention to that so we can best help the Valley and make our members' dollars go as far as it can.
Back in March, when all of this stuff started happening and things had to start shutting down, how freaked out were you guys? I know how freaked out Helen was, but Nathan, how freaked out were you guys about nobody being able to travel anywhere?
Absolutely. We were pretty freaked out. I think me and Helen had several phone calls when this first started going down. And of course, I come from managing Grand Caverns and also with the town of Grottoes. You know, as far as our business point, we're still closed as of this day, you know, since March. And Helen and I, you know, trying to lead the organization, we had many phone calls at the beginning of this process to try and figure out how we were going to assist our members in this, because everyone's in this together and we are all struggling and all having issues guiding through this pandemic. And SVTA wanted to play a big role in trying to help our members as much as possible.
And Helen, I know you're kind of on the front lines because you deal a lot with the members. I joked about your title, but I also know that you kind of manage a lot of the administrative stuff on the back end. So you've got a lot of one-on-one interaction that you're doing with several of the members. You probably got to talk to a lot of them firsthand when all of this started.
I did. I spoke with a lot of them. We're doing a lot of things, as Nathan had mentioned, that to help members get through this. Because we know just cash flow is a big concern right now. So we're reaching out and saying, please know we're here to support you. If July is usually when we reissue invoicing for our annual fees, because we're on a fiscal year calendar of July 1 through June. But again, we haven't had the cash flow. So we're reaching out to each member, and everybody's situation is different, but we're offering to delay payment, installments, whatever it takes. And some members I have found really are in serious trouble, don't feel like they can renew because they don't have the cash, but we're not going to cancel them. We need to support them. So, and they have been just over backwards just pleased that we're doing this. But this is, again, all of us are coming together, and it's just what we need to do.
So Nathan, when did you take over as president of the organization? Because I know it changes from year to year.
So I took over in March of this year.
When the fun started.
Yeah, we were supposed to have a membership meeting, which we weren't able to have, but it was around March, I believe.
Yeah.
So talk about having to come in the middle of a huge tornado of sorts. This probably wasn't exactly what you bargained for when you, I would guess, a year ago said, "Oh yeah, I'll be vice president and move up to president at some point in the future."
Well, I don't think any of us were planning for this, so I'll do the best we can. I've had a lot of help, and the board of directors have been very positive and reassuring to be able to continue this travel association and help our members as best as possible.
And I saw recently in the news, and I'm not sure which one of you can give me the details on this, but you were recently approved for a grant from the Virginia Tourism Corporation, from VTC. Explain to me how that works.
Well, it's something that VTC puts out. You have to submit an application. It's very, very detailed. And actually, we did this last summer. We submitted, and the campaign that we submitted was very different from what we're doing now, but just to give you an idea of how flexible everyone's being. The campaign we won the $50,000 grant on was a fly drive that was targeting Chicago and New York City. Well, needless to say, that didn't happen. So we got in touch with VTC and say, we can't do this, obviously. And they said, hey, we want you to keep that money and spend it, just realign and adjust it as it needs to be current. So we just redid the grant, the marketing plan, and it's now structured for a strictly drive market, starting close by valley borders. As things improve and we get into phase 3, we'll branch out a little further, but no longer is it a fly campaign at this point.
You guys have really had to be one step ahead of all of this stuff with phase 1, phase 2, what phase 3 might look like, because you've got to be able to provide answers to such a wide range of industries and members for the organization. How much trouble was that to just kind of stay on top of?
Of course, the governor does his briefings, every other day, and just trying to pay attention and be able to watch those, and then absolutely reading the orders once they come out to figure out what is going on. And that's just been the ongoing, almost daily occurrence for pretty much everyone in the industry, is figuring out what he's said and what's allowed and what's not, and how we're going to move forward safely.
And then, Helen, you've kind of had to be on the front line somewhat when people are calling in saying, hey, the governor said this, but I don't know what that means or how that applies to me. Have you had to answer some of those questions and make some interpretations?
On some of it, yes. I mean, we're going through the same thing here at Shenandoah because, they were following the governor's guidelines, and yet we got another set of their restrictions for phase 2. I mean, I was just in the park earlier this morning, and, they still have the campgrounds, picnic areas all blocked off. And certain hikes or trails are blocked off. And I don't know Windmill, like the more popular ones like Stony Man, White Oak. I think they still have Old Rag blocked off, to try and, keep that social distancing in place, because there are a lot of people in the park this past weekend. A lot of people out. They're ready to get out. The only thing that is open in the park right now is Big Meadows Wayside, and that's limited hours. And we are reopening Skyland Thursday this week. So that was part of our discussion, was how's that going to look? Because it's a lot of things we're doing there, not servicing rooms while they're overnighting. You can have extra linen, but we won't go in the room while they're staying with us. Dining hours are less, because we have minimal staff. But just everything you were trying to think of, and then, making sure the guests are comfortable and know what all of our cleaning, restrictions and standards are, because it's much, much more detailed than it ever was before, and everywhere it's going to be.
Let's take a quick break right now. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit about, I want to kind of go into a time warp and talk about if COVID-19 hadn't happened, if it didn't exist right now. Let's talk a little bit about the association and the benefits and the perks to members, because all of those still stand whether or not we're in the middle of a health pandemic or not, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll do all of that when we come back. We're going to take a quick break. We are sharing a Zoom screen this afternoon, having a conversation with Nathan Garrison. He is the president of the Shenandoah Valley Travel Association. Helen Morton is also joining us. She is one of their vice presidents. I am Janet Michael. This is the Valley Today. You're listening to Tourism Tuesday, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Expecting to hear a commercial? That's what this is, sorta. First, I want to thank you for listening to the Valley Today podcast. You're one of thousands who listen to the show this way every month. Sometimes it's because our listeners are busy and they want to listen when it fits their schedule, or it's a guest of the show who want to hear what they sounded like when they were on the radio. We even have a few binge listeners who listen to a week's worth at a time. Can you even imagine? So if you want those people, your potential customers, to hear your message, then this could have been your ad. And the bonus, your commercial isn't restricted to just 30 or 60 seconds. You can take up to 2 minutes to talk to those customers. And there's even the opportunity to be an exclusive sponsor of the Valley Today podcast, which also gets you on-air mentions at the end of every show. If any of this sounds interesting to you, give me a call at the station, 540-635-4121, or send me an email to janet@theriver953.com. You can also find all my contact info by searching for me on theriver953.com. Welcome back to the Valley Today. I am your host, Janet Michael. It is Tourism Tuesday as you are listening to the show today. However, we have pre-recorded our conversation over Zoom with Nathan Garrison. He is the president of the Shenandoah Valley Travel Association. Helen Morton is also on the screen with us. She is one of their vice presidents. And I want to make sure people understand, Nathan, off the top, that as much as it sounds like Shenandoah Valley Travel Association, you are not travel agents necessarily. You are more of a group that tries to get people to come to the Shenandoah Valley and visit and attend all of these great events and attractions that we have here in the area, right?
Oh, absolutely. Our goal is to be able to show off the Shenandoah Valley and those that are members with us and get them to their doorsteps. That's our main goal.
So if we get in a time machine and we go back to June of 2019, long before any of this pandemic stuff hit, what would be a reason or some good benefits for somebody who's in a business that depends on tourist traffic to become a member of the Travel Association?
Well, I think one of the two biggest things that we have are, of course, our website. VisitShenandoah.org is branded, has been, is well-known name, has been out there for a long time. And we also have another site called VisitSkylineDrive.org, another well-branded name. And that started years ago off a grant, and we actually purchased the URL. So now SVTA owns that URL and that website. The second thing that's really visible, highly visible, is our travel guide. It is probably one of the most popular travel guides. We are constantly told that we have them in over 700 spots, probably closer to 800. In visitor centers, we have them in I-81, I-95, I-64 corridor services. So we're told that it ranks number one as far as they fly out of the racks. They have a hard time keeping them stocked, which is great. That's what we want. So that it is used quite a bit. The other thing is just there's a lot of networking opportunity for, businesses to network with other businesses, see what they're doing, share best practices. That's some of the other things. We also have a database of potential visitors that have opted in to get information, and we do a monthly e-newsletter out to that database. So we're constantly, keeping up in front of them. Again, it's just the whole PR pitch that we have with our agency, more PR, very connected to the media. Our tagline is Epic Experiences Ahead. Speaks every volumes to what you're going to get in a lot of different ways. From a canoe ride, water trips, underground wonderlands, nature. It's just so many different takes and avenues that she can go with that, and has gone with that. So it appeals to a lot of people. And we've been here close to 100 years, so we are pretty good about what we do. We've survived through a lot of things. This is one of the unusual ones, but it's very strong membership, and I think everyone that is very passionate about what they do. We all have a real drive to make it work, and we partner that way. So that's always a positive.
I know from attending meetings in the past, because I've been a member for several years now, Kathy talks about travel writers, organizing trips for travel writers to Command, about these blogs that she writes. And these are all things that individually would be near impossible, especially for a small business that depends on tourist traffic, to be able to pull off on their own. And that's something that becomes a member benefit from being part of your association.
Yep. Again, that's very true. If she pitches a story, it has usually the writer will tell you, hey, I'm focusing on this. This is what my article is going to be about. So she'll connect them, give them the, understory or underlining story to go with that, but then put them in direct contact with a lot of members if they're seeking specifics. But here again, that's where the website comes in, because it really drives referrals to our member websites. So, and that's where they also get the additional benefit. I can see it from my own Google Analytics, how well it does for our business here. And I get that from other members that they get a lot of referrals from visitshenandoah.org.
Well, and I will tell you, and I never put this together until a year or two ago. I was talking with Justin Kearns, who's Director of Tourism for Winchester, Frederick County. And I noticed on the station's website that we would see these weird upticks in web traffic from places like Chicago. And it never really clicked in my head why that was. And then during a show one day, during a break, Justin was telling me about a targeted ad campaign that was going on to one of those areas. And that's what we were getting, was kind of a filter down effect from something that you guys were doing, targeting people in Chicago to visit the Shenandoah Valley. And when they were doing that, they were looking at other places in and around the area, and the radio station was coming up. So it really is a trickle down effect that we're getting from these bigger picture things that you guys are doing.
Yeah, it definitely does. I think members really look into it. I mean, we have a lot of cabin owners, hotels, restaurants. Again, they all say they can see that interest coming, and they know that it's part of it is definitely due to what we have in the outreach, what we're reaching out to media and reaching out and securing good contacts. So yeah, it's small budgets. If you break it down for a small member, the lowest that we go is $250 annually. That's less than $21 a month investment. So find yourself one ad that you can print ad that you can get for $250, and you're done.
Yeah, and
so
it's going to give you the kind of return
way.
and the impact that something like this would give you.
Right. Yes.
When we talk about the Shenandoah Valley, where exactly is that from the Travel Association's perspective? Talk to me about geography.
It branches off into West Virginia, up past Winchester, and goes all the way down to Helen. Guide me all the way forward. How far?
Now Lexington is the end. Then we have the Virginia Blue Ridge Mountains that go from there. But yeah, it's from Harpers Ferry down to like you said, to the Lexington area.
So if we get back in the time machine and we roll back in, as much as none of us want to come back into the June of 2020, we touched on this briefly in the first segment that you guys have really, while you're dependent on membership, because obviously that's what helps you pay your bills to the greatest degree, you also understand that a lot of these travel and tourist-based businesses just don't have the income because they've been closed in a lot of cases for months and months. You're really making some concessions in order to kind of help them get back on their feet without losing them as members.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we are, we're focusing and trying to figure out our budget at this time and how we're going to move forward. But we understand that members don't have the cash flow right now, and we want to continue our main goal of promoting them, no matter what they're experiencing right now, and if or when they can pay, we're going to work with them.
And I know, Helen, that's always been really important to you to make sure that people understand that regardless of their current financial situation, you guys are here. And if there's still something that they need from you, whether it's information, whether it's a seminar, whether it's a resource of some sort, you still want to be able to provide that to them.
Oh, definitely. Again, I've had a couple members that just have said they, cannot pay, don't think they can continue. But, when we say, hey, our board has determined that we're not going to drop your membership. I mean, you're going to be a member, and we'll get you through this best that we can, which they have truly appreciated, and we're glad and happy to do that. And then we've had some members who say, I don't think I can pay for a while. Well, that's fine too. Again, we're going to work with everybody. So, and some have, it hasn't had the same impact, I guess, like more the outdoors type. They have not had quite the restrictions, so they're in a little bit different financial state. But yeah, we want to work with everybody, and we encourage, if you're not a member, call us, get in touch. We'd love to have you as a member. And again, we will work through with them during this pandemic. I mean, again, it's what we all need to do to partner to help bring tourism back.
So how would somebody reach out? What is the best, quickest way for them to reach out and say, hey, I want more information, or I want to join, or I want to get my name and information in that travel guide? What is the best way for them to do that?
If they can go to visitshenandoah.org, and if you go to contact us, just submit what you're looking for. We respond usually within 24 hours. So it's just go to the website and then just do a contact us and tell us what you're looking for. I had a hotelier in Waynesboro that did that Saturday, and I talked with her yesterday. We responded, but then I said, when you're back in the office, we'll call. And we had a great conversation. So, it's quick. We're quick to respond and get in touch.
Nathan, before we wrap up, you mentioned at the top of the show Grand Caverns, and you're associated with Grand Caverns. So tell me, what's the current status of them?
Currently, we are still closed as of this time. We're looking at trying to open up this week. We couldn't open up in phase 1, and with phase 2, there's additional restrictions that are lifted. So we're in the process of getting, our disinfectant stations, sanitizing, getting our team on board with all the different requirements that we're going to have in order to make it a safe place to visit, and both for our customers and our employees. And so we are pretty much in the final stages of being prepared to open and plan to do that this week. We are a public park as well. Our park is never closed. You could come and hike here and fish and whatnot. But our caverns for tours and our gift shop plan to open up this week. One thing that we still are trying to figure out at this time is our public pool, when that will be able to open. We just finished some renovations and did a splash pad update on that, and phase 2 still has some restrictions on pools, so we're figuring that out, but definitely looking at opening up the caverns this week.
You are not alone in the pool questions. I mentioned to you both earlier that I spoke with the guys from Frederick County Parks and Rec last week, and that was one of their things. There were still some gray areas about what they would have to do in order to open the public pools. So I think everybody is looking for clarification on the pools right now.
Yeah, it's hard to guide right now, trying to figure that out, and who you can and can't open for, and what is being allowed.
And Helen, I know your day job is with Delaware North, which runs all of the lodging for Shenandoah National Park. So when we spoke a couple of weeks ago, you still weren't back because it wasn't open, but the park has opened in recent weeks.
Yes, I actually was furloughed up until last Thursday. I came back. I'd been off about 7 weeks, so I got kind of used to it, but I wanted to come back too. So now I'm the one and only in the office, which I watch out what you wish for. So yeah, I'm kind of doing a little bit of it all. I'm not sure how well, but we're getting there. But we are opening, as it says, this Thursday, Skyland and Lewis Mountain. And then Big Meadows Lodge will open up June the 25th. That's the goal right there. So, but again, all this is going to be limited services, but at least, we'll have something for the visitor if they need to come in, if you get a bite to eat. We'll have a limited menu of everything, but we're developing that every day. So, we're also, I've got weddings we're working with. Believe it or not, we still have some that are determined they're going to get married this year in the park. And we say, just sign. If we can get 10 or if we can get 50, that's what we'll go with. So they're coming back.
Well, if you've got to get married, doing it in a park right now, I think is the best option, because it should be fairly easy to do the social distance thing if you can find someplace like Big Meadows that you can spread everybody out far enough apart.
Right. Yep, that's what we're doing.
The bride and groom may need a megaphone so that people in the back can hear, but hey.
What I say, whatever works, we're going with the flow.
So before we wrap up, if somebody wants more information about Shenandoah Valley Travel Association, where should they go?
Again, go to visitshenandoah.org, and you just have to go to contact us and just submit your information, and we'll get in touch. Make sure you include your phone number, email address, and of course you'll have an email, but just what information you're looking for, and we will be glad to assist you.
And if you're already a member and have some concerns, or you're worried about your current state of membership, they should still reach out to you, because I know there are a lot of things in place that you may be able to finagle for them, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Fantastic. And I will put links to all of that up on the show notes page. We are going to wrap up today's conversation. We have been chatting via Zoom with Nathan Garrison. He is the president of the Shenandoah Valley Travel Association. Helen Morton has also been sharing a screen with us as well. Thank you both for taking some time out of your afternoon to chat with me today. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you.
Tomorrow is the Valley Business Today, Luray Page County edition. Gina and Edie are doing the show with me tomorrow. We have already actually recorded it. We are having a conversation with Nancy from Shenandoah River Outfitters. So we're going to be talking with her tomorrow about the river and their cabins and their campground and all the things that they have going on. So meet me back here tomorrow a few minutes after noon, and I will have that show ready to go for you.